For number one, the method that reduces the volume of waste but could release toxic emissions into the atmosphere is incineration because the fire does burn the waste. The method that is most frequently used in the United States today is the sanitary landfill. It is a place where waste is isolated until it is safe, and many are found and they are even converted into parks along U.S. highways and other places in our country. The method that introduces microorganisms to break down hazardous organic compounds is biological treatment, where the microorganisms will convert the waste into microwaste. The method that would be best suited for neutralizing the acidic component of the waste would be chemical treatment, because they break down the toxic waste into a new non-toxic waste and get rid of these hazardous chemicals. The location where the greatest number of people would be directly affected by a rise in ocean level on this map is point B, because it is closest to the water. The location of the greatest remaining natural biodiversity would be point E, because it is directly where the rainforests are in South America. The location where desertification is occurring most rapidly is A, because it is in the middle of Africa where it is currently dry and hot. Finally, the location where the size of the human population is the most stable would be point D, because it is in the United States of America where the population is rising, and it is in stage 4 in the country development stages. The relationship that is being exemplified in number 9 would be B, parasitism, because the tick is feeding on the deer, and therefore the tick is gaining, but the deer is not. Number 10, the relationship that is being exemplified is E, competition, because the starlings are displacing the bluebirds from the nesting sites, which is creating a competition between these two species. Number 11, the relationship being exemplified is C, mutualism, because both the bee and the flower are benefiting from this relationship. The relationship that is being exemplified in number 12, a moss growing on a tree trunk, is A, commensalism, where the moss is gaining by being able to grow, but the tree remains neutral. Number 13, matter in motion has energy, mostly relates to B, kinetic energy, because in kinetic energy, a lot of movement is occurring. Number 14, energy is transferred from one object to another as the result of a temperature difference, really relates to A, heat flow, because in heat flow, energy moves from hot items to cold items to then heat those cold items. And number 15, an energy transformation occurs and results in increased disorder, is stating E, the second law of thermodynamics, where it's saying that quality deteriorates over time and over energy transformations. Number 16 states that the amount of energy in an isolated system stays constant, and that is relating to D, the first law of thermodynamics. This law states that no energy can be created nor destroyed in a system. Number 17 states that it's the source that produces long-lived hazardous waste, and this would be D, nuclear fission, because it is non-renewable and is inefficient, and it takes a long time for these hazardous wastes to break down and be safe to dump in the environment. Number 18 states that this is a source that is converted directly into electrical energy by photovoltaic cells, and this would be E, sunlight, because it is renewable and is created by the sun, and the photovoltaic cells in solar panels are what create this energy. The source whose use is a direct cause of deforestation would be A, biomass, because it is the only one that has to do with natural earth-created substances. It is renewable as forests can grow back, but the burning down of these biotic materials will slowly cause or could cause deforestation. The source that is non-renewable would be D, nuclear fission, as I stated earlier. Nuclear fission is non-renewable and it could be harmful to the environment. Out of all of these, the choice that is measured on the pH scale would be A, acidity. Number 22 says that it is caused by suspended particulates, and that would be B, turbidity, as it is often referred to as the cloudiness in water. Decreased by the breakdown of organic waste would be D, dissolved oxygen, because oxygen will be dissolved in H2O. Number 24 says measured by the amount of Ca2+ and Mg2+, and that would be C, hardness, as it is the that is measured by the level of calcium and magnesium. Number 21 states that it is an important precursor to acid rain, and this would be E. Sulfur dioxide is a greenhouse gas, and its presence in the atmosphere does greatly contribute to acid rain. Number 26 says it has a stronger affinity for hemoglobin than oxygen has, and that would be B. Carbon monoxide, which is another greenhouse gas. Number 27 says it has been implicated as the cause of much as 15% of lung cancer cases, and that would be D. Radon, which is found in the homes, which is why it is so easily exposed to people in home situations. Number 28 says it is flammable gas produced by landfills, and this would be C. Methane. Number 29 states ozone in the stratosphere is important to organisms at Earth's surface because ozone molecules are very strong absorbers of B, the ultraviolet rays. These rays are very harmful, but microwaves heat food, visible lights are visible, X-rays are found on Earth, not from space, and the infrared rays are not absorbed. The reasons that human populations historically have settled in floodplains are because of 1, 2, and 3. The soil in floodplains is usually fertile due to it being so close to water. The terrain always tends to be flat due to it being weathered from the water. And floodplains are close to rivers for transportation because back then they didn't have trucks or cars, they had to use boats to transport goods. The only answer here that is applicable to this question would be C, an environmental impact statement. The National Environmental Policy of 1969 required all agencies responsible for a major federal product that could significantly affect the quality of the environmental to file on the environmental impact statement. All of the following are considered toxic metal pollutants except potassium. Mercury is dangerous to the nervous system. Lead is poisonous. Chromium can cause cancer. Cadmium is harmful, and it is found in some forms of food and when you smoke. Number 33 says, which of the following actions would be the most effective in decreasing acid rain and acid deposition problems? And that would be reducing the use of fossil fuels, as using higher smokestacks would not help the problem. Developing acid-resistant crops would not help this problem. Adding lime to acidified lakes would not help this problem. And relocating power plants to areas of lower population density would still pollute and not help this problem. In general, which of the following is the best long-term method of preventing extinctions? And that would be B, protecting the habitats of endangered species, as breeding endangered species in captivity would still decrease their environmental awareness. C, paying people not to kill endangered species will not completely stop the problem. Providing food to endangered species in the wild will create a dependency that they will not be able to live in the wild by themselves, and removing predators from areas that contain endangered species could be harmful as they could affect other species that live there. Which of the following is most likely to occur in a forested region that has been recently clear-cut? This would be A, the concentration of nitrates in streams running through the region will increase. The average depth of topsoil will increase is not applicable in this situation. The water temperature in streams running through the region will decrease was not applicable as well. Zero population growth is associated with E phases 1 and phase 4 because as you can see there is no gap between the birth and death rates in these stages. Number 37, the rate of population growth starts to slow down at which point? This would be in C, the beginning of phase 3. This is because the birth rates are now catching up to the death rates, with are both at a lower level. And the phase 1 is zero growth. The middle of phase 2 is rapid growth. The end of phase 3 is zero growth, and the middle of phase 4 is zero growth. Which of the following is most likely to the primary cause of high death rates in phase 1? This would be D, infant and childhood mortality. A, B, and C are all not applicable, and E is not applicable as well. But number C says that large percentage of elderly individuals in the population. This is not the best cause of high death rates in phase 1. Which of the following best shows the process of evolution? This would be D. A population of mosquitoes develops resistance to a pesticide. They have throughout many generations rooted out the ones that cannot survive this. Answer choice A, B, and C all show ways of adapting. And a population of foxes increases as more prey becomes available is an effect instead of a evolutionary development. Number 40 says most data indicate that during the past 100 years, mean global annual temperature has D increased by 0.5 degrees Celsius, E is too low, C stayed the same is too high, B decreased by 0.5 degrees Celsius is too low, and A is too low as well. I'm sorry, E is too high. Answer choice B would most effectively slow the loss of arable land, which is reducing urban development. Increasing the efficiency of desalination processes would be too small. Increasing the efficiency of erosion control would be too small. Using more extensive irrigation systems would be too small. And discovering cheaper energy sources is not applicable to this situation, therefore making B the best answer choice in this question. Number 42 says environmentalists oppose the mining of Antarctic mineral resources because C, the Antarctic environment is fragile and extremely vulnerable to disturbance that would accompany development. Answer choice D shows it is non-renewable, and answer choice E, the demand would just go up. With answer choice A, there is no issue, and answer choice B is just not applicable in this situation. For number 43, fragmenting one large park or preserve into many small parks with human habitation in between them is most likely to lead to which one of the following, and that would be reduction in species diversity. This is because it is separating the habitats. Answer choice B, stabilization of microclimates, is the opposite of what this would do. Answer choice C, instead of decreasing, it will increase in the proportion of edge habitat. Answer choice D, it will, instead of decrease the gene flow within species, and instead of increasing in population size of top carnivores, it will decrease the population size. Number 44 says, which of the following metals is considered an energy resource? And that would be A, uranium, because uranium is used in nuclear energy, while cobalt, mercury, copper, and palladium are not used in any forms of energy making process. Number 45 states, of the following, which constitutes the greatest percent of domestic use of water in the United States? And that would be A, 19%, which is, A, flushing toilets, which constitutes for 19%. Drinking only constitutes for 11%, cooking 10%, washing dishes 5%, washing clothes 15%, making washing clothes the number 2. Number 46 states, which of the following best describes soils in many tropical rainforests? And that would be B, they are quickly depleted of nutrients when the forest is removed. Number A, they lack soil horizons, is not true. C, they are similar to soils in grasslands, is not true, as they are much wetter. They are well suited for growing a wide variety of crops, is not true, as crops are not grown here, and they are deep and well drained, is not true as well.
Which of the following elements constitutes the highest percentage of mass in Earth's crust? This would be A, oxygen, which is a whopping 47%, as aluminum is only 8%, carbon 2, potassium 2, and nitrogen 2. If an incandescent light bulb used for lighting has an efficiency rating of 5%, then for every 1.00 joule of electrical energy consumed by the bulb, which of the following is produced? That would be D, 0.05 joule of light energy. 1.05 is too low. 1.05, that is too high. 1.05 of heat energy, it has to be light energy. 0.95 joule of light energy is too high. 0.05 joule of heat energy is the right amount, but it needs to be light energy instead of heat energy. The ultimate source of energy for terrestrial ecosystems is E, the sun, as the sun is the start for all energy. Everything else producers absorb from the sun, primary consumers absorb from producers, and the nutrients in soil and nutrients in vegetation all come from the sun as well, making the sun the ultimate source of energy for terrestrial ecosystems. All of the following gases have been implicated in contributing to the increase in global temperatures via the greenhouse gas effect, except O2, which is oxygen. O2 is naturally occurring in the atmosphere, and it does not create the warming effect as methane, CH4, does, N2O, nitrogen oxide, which is a greenhouse gas, does, CO2, which is carbon dioxide, which is also a greenhouse gas, does, and CFCs, which are also greenhouse gases and are extremely harmful. O2 is the only one out of these choices that is not a greenhouse gas, and therefore does not cause an increase in the global temperatures.